In a vast salt marsh where the earth shimmers under a crust of white minerals, a fragile life rests quietly atop a mound of mud, waiting for the moment to begin. Inside a single egg lies a tiny greater flamingo chick named Rosie, surrounded by silence, warmth, and the distant echoes of a living colony. The wind moves gently across the salt flats, and beneath the shell, life begins to stir, a faint movement signaling the start of an extraordinary journey. The egg trembles softly, then more urgently, as Rosie pushes from within, her tiny body fighting against the boundary that has protected her. A thin crack forms across the shell, delicate but powerful, marking the first step between safety and survival. From within, faint tapping echoes as Rosie pecks with her small beak, each effort exhausting, each movement driven by instinct. Nearby, her parents approach cautiously, their long legs steady on the uneven ground, their calls low and encouraging. The crack widens as Rosie continues to push, until at last her tiny pink beak breaks through the shell into the open water. Light floods in for the first time, and with a final determined effort, Rosie breaks free, emerging wet, fragile, and exhausted onto the mud mound. For a moment, she lies still, breathing rapidly, her small body adjusting to the harsh brightness of the salt marsh. Her parents lean close, gently touching her with their beaks, offering warmth, reassurance, and protection. Slowly, her damp feathers begin to dry, transforming into a soft gray down that fluffs gently in the breeze. She looks up for the first time, her wide eyes filled with curiosity as she recognizes the towering forms of her parents. Instinct guides her as she nestles into their feathers, finding comfort in their warmth against the vast exposed landscape. Soon, hunger awakens, and one parent lowers its beak, releasing a drop of rich red crop milk, a vital source of nourishment. Rosie eagerly receives it, her small beak stained as she swallows, each feeding strengthening her fragile body. Days pass, and with each meal, Rosie grows stronger, her legs lengthening, her balance slowly improving. At first, she struggles to stand, wobbling unsteadily before collapsing gently into the shallow water below. But encouraged by her parents, she rises again, determination overcoming weakness. Eventually, she stands, trembling but steady, her long legs supporting her for the first time. She takes her first steps, small ripples forming around her feet as she moves through the shallow water. Following closely behind her mother, Rosie begins to explore the world beyond the nest, guided and protected at every moment. She peers into the water, fascinated by her reflection, pecking playfully at the shimmering surface. Her wings flutter weakly at first, testing their strength, preparing for the distant future of flight. Confidence grows, and she begins to run in short bursts, splashing water as she learns control over her body. Around her, the flock moves together, a living wall of protection in the open landscape. But the wild is never without danger. In the tall grass beyond the wetland, a predator watches a silent hunter waiting for the perfect moment. A hyena lowers its body, creeping forward, its eyes locked onto the vulnerable young flamingo. Rosie senses the shift in the air and freezes, her instincts warning her before she fully understands the danger. Then suddenly the attack begins. The hyena bursts from the grass, charging with explosive speed toward the flock. Panic erupts as alarm calls fill the air and wings beat frantically against the heavy wind. Rosie runs, her long legs splashing through thick mud as fear drives her forward. The predator closes in, jaws snapping just behind her, the distance shrinking with every step. In a desperate moment, Rosie turns sharply, narrowly avoiding the deadly strike. The hyena shifts its target, capturing another flamingo in the chaos as Rosie escapes. Behind her, the struggle continues, but Rosie does not stop. Driven by instinct, she runs until her strength fades, then lifts herself into the air for the first time. Her wings strain against gravity, unsteady but determined, carrying her away from danger. Eventually, she lands far from the chaos, her body trembling, her breath heavy from the narrow escape. The wetland falls silent again, but something has changed. Rosie stands alone. She calls out, her voice echoing across the empty marsh, searching for the flock she has lost. Time passes. The small, fragile chick grows into a juvenile, her feathers shifting from soft gray to hints of pale pink. Her movements become graceful, her balance strong, her confidence steady. She learns to feed herself, lowering her curved beak into the water, filtering algae and tiny organisms with precision. Each motion becomes fluid, efficient, a reflection of instinct refined through survival. Her wings grow stronger, her body more elegant, her presence blending into the rhythm of the flock once more. Joins them, moving in synchrony, practicing the intricate dances that define her species. Her neck arches gracefully, her movements deliberate, a display of both beauty and strength. The once helpless chick has transformed. Now Rosie stands as a survivor of the wild, shaped by danger, guided by instinct, and strengthened by every challenge she has faced. In the endless horizon of the salt marsh, her journey continues, no longer as a fragile beginning, but as a living part of the